The whole Che character was like a walking boomer joke that felt so fake to me.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Sex and the City scandals.
We've never been friends. We've been colleagues. And in some ways, it's a very healthy place to be.
For this list, we'll be looking at all the times that the fabulous comedy series, films, and revival were anything but fabulous. From problematic storylines to real-life controversies, the Sex and the City universe is as famous for its fashions as it is for its scandals. After the video, let us know which one of the moments surprised you. Number 10. Charlotte's Mexico comment. In 2008, Sex and the City made the leap from the small screen to the big screen with a film adaptation.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. I'm waiting for Miss Espresso.
Honey, you'll be waiting a long time. We'll talk.
The flick saw Carrie and her pals journey to Mexico after her traumatic almost wedding to Mr. Big. While on vacation, Charlotte refused to eat any of the food provided by the resort and would only consume cups of American-made pudding out of fear.
With all this gorgeous fresh food, you're just gonna eat that pudding crap for the entire trip?
It's the only thing in the pantry that's totally safe. See? Made in Poughkeepsie. I didn't want to chance it.
She believed that food south of the border can cause sickness, which is a dangerous stereotype. Despite all of the other ladies whining and dining without any problems, Charlotte didn't back down. Until karma came knocking.
Did you just...
Shut up! And just like that, Charlotte Poughkeepsied in her pants.
Number 9. Patricia Field dissing Cynthia Nixon. Kim Cattrall wasn't the only Sex and the City alum who didn't physically return for the sequel series, and just like that, in 2021. The original show's costume designer, Patricia Field, was already working on Netflix's Emily in Paris when the revival began production and her ex-assistant, Molly Rogers, stepped in.
Do you love it? Oh, yes, of course I love Paris. And the food is so delicious, the fashion so chic, the lights so magical.
When interviewed about her thoughts regarding the sequel show's fashion, Field didn't hold back.
When I first started doing it, it was really just for me, just for fun, posting strangers who have interesting style. But now that I'm on that podcast, it's kind of growing into a thing.
When it came to style and fashion, the Emmy Award winner called out cast member Cynthia Nixon, stating, "Cynthia Nixon thinks she knows everything, and she doesn't." Seems like there is no love lost between these two former colleagues.
Well, then I guess that's all we can, do. So weird.
I know. I always thought the four of us would be friends forever.
Number 8. Samantha's Transphobia. During Sex and the City's run, it was deemed progressive and liberating. While in many ways it was and still is, there are some things in retrospect that are straight up problematic.
I live right up there, the loft within earshot. Now, as much as I respect a woman's right for a little something-something with certain New Jersey gentlemen, I have a request.
Case in point, Samantha's treatment of the trans community. In season 3, Samantha is kept up at night by trans sex workers who are working outside of her apartment building.
But do they have to do it on my block?
I thought my roof chickens were bad. Every morning at 4 a.m. they start up. I mean, it's like they're putting on a show.
While complaining about them, she uses a derogatory word and later even threatens them with violence.
She had a date with Destiny, China, and Joe. No E.
Take this, ladies!
In the end, they all make peace, but Miss Jones should definitely have known better. Number 7. The women body-shaming Samantha. In the Sex and the City movie, Samantha has left the hustle and bustle of New York City for the ease and breeze of California to manage Smith's career.
Now listen, this isn't about the weight. You would look gorgeous at any size. But are you happy?
Well, relationships aren't always about being happy. Right?
Later on in the film, she goes to visit the girls and confesses her struggles with being in a monogamous relationship has caused her to eat more and gain some weight, which Carrie and the other girls notice and immediately call her out on.
I didn't realize how big I was until I saw it on your faces.
How? And I say this with love. How could you not realize it?
I've been avoiding mirrors.
The moment is played for comedic effect, but there's nothing funny about so-called friends body-shaming someone they supposedly love and care for.
What am I gonna do?
What's your gut tell you?
Number 6. The character of Che. When And Just Like That premiered in late 2021, the show brought back Carrie, Miranda, and Charlotte, as well as a bunch of new characters. One of them was Che Diaz, and they quickly became one of the series' most talked about new additions.
Woke moment!
And yes, I know that no one person can represent all the genders and sexual orientations or an entire race, and I fully acknowledge that we are complicated, diverse beings.
Played by Sara Ramirez, Che is a stand-up comedian who is non-binary.
And just because my family loves me does not mean that they're not confused. Okay. I am like an episode of Unsolved Mysteries. They're so confused.
While the SATC universe definitely needed more representation, fans were quick to express their disappointment that Che was more of a caricature than a fully fleshed out character. From their use of a woke moment button on their podcast, to their heavy-handed dialogue chock full of buzzwords, Che was not the representation that the non-binary community wanted or deserves.
The whole Che character was like a walking boomer joke that felt so fake to me.
Number 5, the angry black woman trope. It's no secret that the original SATC series lacked diversity, and when the show did feature a character of colour, they usually were quite two-dimensional or oversimplified.
Didn't I meet you at the Columbia Records party for Jennifer Lopez?
I don't think so. My PR firm handled it, but I'm sure I remember meeting you.
For instance, in the season 3 episode No Ifs, Ands or Buts, Samantha begins to date Siobhan, a black man. But his sister, Adina, isn't too keen on their interracial relationship.
I don't want you seeing my brother.
Excuse me?
I don't approve.
But you don't even know
Let's
me.
not get all personal here. I'm sure you're a very nice person, but you're white.
Despite Adina expressing her concern, Samantha continues to see Siobhan, which results in a fight between the two women where they bump into each other at a club. Here, Adina is reduced to the stereotype of the angry black woman, which is really disheartening. Number 4, Carrie's narrow POV of sexuality. For someone whose career involves writing about sex, Carrie Bradshaw had a very limited perspective on the subject. In the episode Boy Girl, Carrie begins seeing a man named Sean. While on a date with him, he mentions that he has dated both men and women, which shocks Carrie.
And before her, Leslie couldn't commit.
And before Leslie, there was Mark.
Is that a problem?
Later on, she laments to her gal pals about it, questioning if bisexuality exists and referring to his sexuality as a problem.
Jeez, maybe I do have a problem with this. I'm an old fart.
Correction, a hot old fart.
I'm not even sure bisexuality exists.
The whole scene promotes a dangerous mindset that discredits, invalidates, and stereotypes the bi community. After watching it, we can't help but wonder if Carrie even has any business making a living as a sex columnist.
That was the last night I saw Sean. I realized they could do whatever they wanted, but deep down, I was too old to play this game. So I took my hot old fart ass home.
Number 3, the women's problematic behaviour in Abu Dhabi. In Sex and the City 2, the foursome trade Manhattan for a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Abu Dhabi. From the moment they land in the Middle East, the women behave controversially. First off, Carrie says the way in which Muslim women are dressed
freaks me out.
Yet later on, when it's convenient for her, she wears a veil to avoid an angry mob and make her flight home. Then there's Samantha, who, while being mistakenly accused of theft, sees a pile of condoms dropped from her purse in front of a group of men.
I didn't steal it! It's mine! You broke my bargain!
Now, this scene could have been portrayed as a moment of female sexuality liberation, but no. Instead, Samantha shouts at and provokes them, angering them even more.
Condoms! Condoms! Yes! Condoms!
Maybe it's just better to forget that SATC 2 ever happened. Number 2, Sarah Jessica Parker and Kim Cattrall's alleged feud. Kim Cattrall and Sarah Jessica Parker's infamous real-life tiff has plagued Sex and the City fans for years. Reports of sourness between the two date back to 2004, when Cattrall confessed that SATC ended due to money.
And I cannot believe that you would judge me after everything that we've been through.
She believed the show's popularity did not match her salary, particularly after SJP became an executive producer and received a substantial spike in pay. From then on, both actresses addressed the tension, with Cattrall admitting the cast weren't the best of friends, while Parker later said she adored Kim.
I don't know what her issue is. I think the thing that still bothers me is this feeling that of being in some way made to be the baddie.
The conflicting POVs came to a head when Cattrall put the kibosh on a third movie with her in it. When And Just Like That was announced, she turned down reprising her role.
I told her that because of, what the book business is now, it just didn't make sense for me to keep her on as a publicist. She said fine and then fired me as a friend.
However, it was announced in 2023 that she'd be making a cameo appearance in the second season.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You'll have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Chris Noth's assault allegations. And Just Like That. Right after And Just Like That premiered in 2021, the media reported 2 women had accused Chris Noth, aka Mr. Big, of sexual assault.
I thought by the time I got here I'd know what to say.
And?
Well, you're late. Party's over.
I'll say it is.
Following the claims, a third report was released. Noth denounced the claims, calling them false, stating that his relations with the women were consensual.
No! No! I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna waste tears on you. I curse the day you were born!
Following the allegations, he was released by his management agency and his gig with the brand Peloton, as well as fired from his series The Equalizer. Although his character died in the pilot, Noth was scheduled to appear in the season 1 finale of And Just Like That, but the plans were ditched due to the allegations.
And just like that, Big died.
Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.